welcome back to Little Miss Dropstitch. And today we've got another brew and a review. If you've not seen one before, then it's where I show you and chat about a crafty product that I'm reviewing. And we've done a few brew reviews now, and I'll put some links down below of previous ones as well that might be of interest to you. And lately what I've been doing is reviewing quite thick, expensive resource books I've called for crafting, which I thought would be useful for you to get my opinion and have a look at as well, to see if it's something that you'd like to invest in. It is absolutely freezing today as well, so I definitely need the brew with it. Well, first things are always first on this channel, and I am reviewing this. It is the Making Marls book, and apologies, I will have to read her name. It's surnamed Cecelia Campochiaro. Cecelia Campochiaro, okay? It's called Making Marls. Interestingly, I saw this book in Vienna a couple of years ago now, in German, but I still thought it looked great. So I found it on Amazon in the UK. It's actually sold from an American distributor, if you want it written in English. So I purchased it from there. So I probably paid more really because of postage taxes. This is before the other taxes that we won't go into too much between the US. So I paid approximately about £50 for this book. I got it with some vouchers. I feel very lucky to be owning it. So I will, as always, we do a little flick through at the end, but I'll just give you my opinion. I mean, front cover. So this is actually like a fabric, and then this is nice and shiny, and there's the back. I mentioned it before, what I hate is when a book comes with a dust cover, which this doesn't, and underneath it's just plain and you can't tell what the book is. So if that dust cover ever gets destroyed, which is likely, then yeah, you can't tell what it is. But there's no dust cover, so we don't have that problem. It's absolutely beautiful. In it, I'd say it's a mix for a mix of abilities, and what I mean by that is it was quite heavy at times. I don't like to put you off, and I'll talk about the bits that did appeal. It's quite heavy about colour theory, and I'm still not sure I greatly understand it. That's probably not a reflection of the author and reflection, more on myself and abilities. But yeah, I'm a bit wiser. So yes, I have learned something. I'm a bit wiser at colour theory, but I probably did switch off a little because it is quite heavy on it. But if you're really into your arty stuff and you know what's going on, then this you will learn absolutely loads from. And it goes all into hues, tones, tints, and mixing them together. The bit I did like and could follow, and you'll realise as well with this book, it's like, oh, I've been doing that actually all along, some of this. Different types of marls. I mean, let's say what a marl is first of all, and this will help give, a proper definition in this book. So essentially it's having different coloured strands of yarn and using them together. So and this is what the book says, you could, let's just have one strand of black, one strand of white, or you could do two black, one white, and that will create something completely different. You could have 5 different colours, and it kind of shows how it creates different things and micro swatching. And there is, which I know will appeal to us all, plenty of patterns in the back as well. And I definitely would like to make some of them. I think it kind of helps it's in two minds. It kind of helps with, all your leftovers, what you do with them. But then I still feel like I'd just be doing it random. With this book, that there is, structure to it and in the colours. If you're perpetually worried about running out, like I am, that might not help. So yeah, when I was back to saying, I realised, oh, I've been doing this, all along. That's about, the random marling. So you might have actually been doing it without knowing, but then it does talk about, ombre and different calculations for marling, but it does break it down to easy, and there's charts at the back if you want to follow it. But yeah, like I said, it did get a bit heavy for me going through and was probably quite university art grade. However, unlike other hefty knitting books I've reviewed in the past, it did then have a load of patterns, so you could just do a bit of, less reading, more looking, which I enjoyed and broke it up. Because I don't care how interesting the book is or how good of a reader you are, everyone wants to get to the end of it, whatever reason it is. Same with your knitting or your crochet. You want to get to the end of your project for whatever reason. It gives plenty of advice of yarns to get and, mix them. Some of them were UK brands actually. Lace weights as well. That is something I would like to try. It creates a nice floppy, for want of a better word, fabric. But then you've also lots of room to play with different marls. I did learn about the arty stuff and there's apparently a red, yellow, blue colour wheel and, like your printer, cyan, magenta, yellow colour wheel as well. What I mean by is kind of it went over me a bit by the end is it talks about hues, tints, you know, things mixed with grey, things mixed with white and saturation and whatever. Great, I can see that on the chart, but then if just randomly, here's a dress that needs putting away, I'm not confident then I'd be able to tell you that is a shade, that is a tint, or that's the original colour. I'm not 100% confident. Because obviously there's all different types of pink. Is it mixed with grey? Is it mixed with white? Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be able to recognise it in the wild, which is also how my geography degree went as well. So I can tell you all about the mountains, doesn't mean I can recognise the features in the wild. So, crunch question, would I recommend Making Marls by Cecelia Campochiaro? Yes, I would, but it also depends what you want to get out of the book. And I did learn, and yeah, there are things I will take away and go and try for myself. I might adapt it in, you know, a less rigid way, maybe. Also depends on the availability of yarns I have, because we don't want to be buying any more at the minute, do we? But yeah, I think now I've got over the initial overwhelm of kind of the art theory. I feel like I could go back now I've read it and just pick the bits out and learn from it. I definitely feel like it broke a lot of it down, and you know, it's something that I could go back to and learn from, even to learn about colour theory for, you know, art and things like that. It's just something to think about, the Making Marls technique, and something new in your toolkit. Depends how much you want to go into knitting different designs theory, I suppose, as to whether you should buy it. But yeah, it's certainly some food for thought, and yeah, lots of new inspiration and techniques to try. She does actually have another book called Sequence Knitting, and I did buy that as well. I'm yet to read it, but when I do, I will be back for another Brew A review to tell you all about that one. So come on, let's have our flick through. And before we do, please do give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and all that good stuff so we can continue to review more things. I'm really weird and flick through magazines and books back to front. So these bits here look very technical, but it's actually kind of the aforementioned bits in the book really broken down into an understandable way. So that is certainly something I'd be referencing. Let's get to some of the bit more exciting. So here are some of the patterns, and it'll show you it in different marl techniques. There's a range from simple projects, oh that's nice and chunky actually, to more intricate ones. It does a lot of this micro swatching, it's called, to show you different sequences and to encourage you to do it yourself as well, to see how things might play out in the finished piece. That's nice. That's a bit random and yeah, fashion. See, some of them are, you know, simple structures to knit. This is done from lace, but it's not the thickness of lace. It is, yeah, 3.5mm needles, US 4. So you're doing quite a few lace strands together. And it tells you how many you need, 600 meters. This is interesting. I don't know if it is Munsell. So the Munsell colour chart is something in geology and geography. It's basically all the colours of soil, and it does range from brown, but it actually goes to like blue as well and white. So I wonder if it's based on that. Shawl, and if we see the schematic, can I show you the very simple structures. So this will give you ideas for the pattern of like all the different kinds of marls they've discussed and how it might then turn out. Also showing you the contrast when you put it in black and white, and it discusses that as well. You can have marls that are quite blended, like these light ones, or marls that are quite different, contrasting. And yeah, this is kind of showing you how to do gradient colours. There we go, that's beautiful. That is really beautiful actually. If you've got a cold neck, this book is for you. Okay. See, look, that's really nice simple shape and structure. So I do think the patterns are very inspirational themselves and beginner friendly. And then yeah, loads of examples. I really like this about this book actually, loads of examples of different ways it might go. Okay, plenty more of that going on, and patterns, and then it does talk about yarn. I think yeah, a couple of interviews as well. Equipment. So the patterns with the different types of marl sequences that they've been discussing. Oh, this is cool. This is like a newspaper. Aha, there we go. So this is talking about if we just use one thin strand or a couple of strands and how it might look different, and you know, doing it every row as opposed to, you know, alternate, etc. It's pretty cool. That would look nice on socks, wouldn't it? Ah, this is like triangles. Like I said, I really like these patterns just as they are as well. Yeah, more of this micro swatching, what they've called it, and they've, yeah, that's really good as well. They've done examples of both wools, yarns, strand, whatever you want to call it, but then also samples with mohairs as well, which I've been looking at that lately actually, of coming out of, or trying to, of just putting, let's say, pink mohair with the same shade pink wool, you know, but actually can we do, you know, pink with an orange mohair? Talks about relative colour. See, the explanations are actually really succinct, so that's why I say, you know, it was a bit heavy at times because I've no experience or background in colour theory and the art side of things. However, I could come back to it with a cuppa, of course, and a cake, and have a gen up on that. Yeah, we go into like pastel colours. Yeah, this is all the art theory stuff. Analogous colours. This is, okay, so this is also talking about how putting different colours next to each other in, let's say, stripes can alter how the colour looks as well, which sounds strange, but I did actually get what it was on about. So yeah, the skin tone can make the, you know, the yarns itself look warmer, vice versa. That's why you see me, if I ever wear yellow, it's broken up with ditzy florals or, you know, tweed or whatever, because I look quite ill if I wear certain shades of yellow. But it's such a happy colour. And this is what I was talking about before, so using like one of each strand and then, you know, a 2-to-1 ratio. I think the most important thing to remember, and I know it's what the author would advise as well, is just to have fun and playing around and experimenting, but it's kind of guiding you into trying new things and think. I think that's what I got from it, to think differently about wool and colour, and, you know, what you're trying to express through that as well. And that's talking about how the needle size can affect things. So I don't like giving, you know, too much away and giving you all the books. Obviously that's not fair to the author. Yeah, hopefully I've given you enough just to decide whether it's for you. And so essentially, what are marls? This is a nice big picture showing you what marls are. But then it's also, and that's what I picked up, then it's done it in stripes as well. But there's all different ways to carry those stripes, you know, do you ombre it? Do you make them totally different? And this is like the lace weight yarn they were talking about. You don't have to, but the patterns, some of them recommend that. Now, do give us that like, thumbs up, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Take care.